Hey everyone, this is Gwydion, and today I'm going to show where I'm at with my character creation for Shadow of the Demon Lord. And this is really meant for my players to be an instructional video on how to create a character. I'll show them how to log in, but basically they'll log into my IP address and they'll get to this splash screen. I've got some explanations on what to do over here. I need to scroll down and kind of read through this, just a few things. So they will select their player name. So I'm going to select Jaded Bailey. And then they don't need to worry about an access key, but just join game. All right, so this is the player instance. So this is what they're going to see right away. So if they want to select a character, just select Image Browser. And then you can look, you're already in user data. There's core data and user. Click on images. There's a lot of different images in here, but really we're going to scroll down to either Mankind portraits or Wildlands portraits. I'm going to click on Wildlands. This doesn't really help you that much. These are just names, but if you click on the image view, you can see what it's going to look like. So I'm just going to pick, why not? He looks a little crazy, and then select File. There you go. Now you can change your color, how you will show up. So if you want to drag it, this is close to my Gwydion color. And it already pre-selects because I've already set a character up, or an actor, with Jaded Bailey as the owner. It's already showing that. So let's just click on, I think you could select that. Let's see what that does. Save configuration. Then I'm going to go to here. And okay, there's my basic character sheet. There's nothing in it yet, but we'll get this kind of all ready to go and you can see what it looks like. Pull it up here. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click on this icon. And I kind of told them to do that, and they can click on character creation. It's weird. It always shows the image first, so this looks strange. Just click text. Okay. Now we're going to go through our character creation video walkthrough. Okay. So we've done this, found their name. So now this will walk through exactly how to create a character. So you can choose your ancestry first and either select an ancestry, which is option A, or randomly roll for one of the 6 standard ancestries. The reason I say that is the 6 standard ancestries are human, changeling, clockwork, dwarf, goblin, and orc. But I also loaded in, I have another PDF I converted in here for centaurs. It's called Riders of the Wind. So that's one of my players likes to play a centaur, so I put it in here in case he wanted to do that. So if you wanted to roll, you could click on this roll table and then literally just click roll. And let's do that for now. So it'll randomly roll. You'll see the dice flash across. Then if we go over to our chat screen, it kind of pops up. It says a little bit about what this table's about. And then you see that this person rolled a clockwork standard form. So if I wanted to, and I explain this up here, once you randomly roll or pick, you drag and drop the C item. The C item is basically just these little snippets of information. I click over here into my compendium, which is like my items directory. These are all C items, everything in here, and we'll cover that later. For now, I'm going to make this easy. You saw how to roll, but I'm just going to click on human, left click. I'm going to drag and drop it anywhere on this sheet, doesn't matter where. See a populated human. Now, I try to explain, if you see a red exclamation point at the top, then you're going to click on it and make choices that pop up. So let's kind of see what that means. So here's a human. You can click into these links. And we're on creating a human. So you can see starting attribute scores, 10s across the board. So here are all my attributes. And I'll be able to take one and increase it by 1. And here are all some of the other items. I could actually change my size from 1 to half if I wanted. Speed's automatically 10. And then it looks like damage, nothing. I've changed that a bit. Instead of showing damage, I just have health, which is kind of current health, and then max health. So I'm going to type in 10 to be consistent with my max health here. All right, so let's click on this exclamation point. So pick one language or profession. So you can see down here, you speak the common tongue already, and you can either speak one language or add a random profession. For now, let's just pick dark speech. I'm just gonna default to that. Now, if you want to see where that is showing up on your character sheet, you can scroll to the right. You see I have like afflictions, effects for in-game. I've got inventory for when we populate inventory, and then I have other. So you can see my common and dark speech are under languages. All right, let's go back to main and see what else we have. So again, increase one attribute score by 1. And that's up here. Choose one attribute, increase it by 1. I'm going to make a magician, so I'm going to go ahead and do intellect by 1. Still a red exclamation point. So this is optional, and I try to call this out here. So if I close this for a second, if I scroll down, adjust scores. This is part of Shadow of the Demon Lord, so I'm just showing this as a note. But optionally, it lets you increase one attribute, but you have to decrease one attribute. So I'm just going to say no changes. Let's leave everything as they are. And okay. So now the check mark went away. We know we're good. So now we're through step 3, and we're on to step 4. Select starting professions. Now this is pretty manual. So I'm going to flip over here and show you. So here is where my professions are. All right, so you get 2. So people, the players can click on this PDF link. And I've got this hosted on my Dropbox. This is the player's guide for Shadow of the Demon Lord. So you can scroll down and you can see the types of professions. And then under each type, you see what the actual professions are. So under common, you have all of these. You have 20. Criminal, you have some academic professions, which is more like areas that you've studied. So you know about war, science, religion, and then martial professions. So let's flip over to here again. So I'm just going to roll. Let's do rollable table. So got my table up. So again, all I need to do, let's flip back over so you can see it. So this is the chat window. I'm just going to roll once. And it rolled on wilderness. So in this case, it says guide. So if I wanted to, I could just type in wilderness guide. And the reason I knew wilderness is I saw it pop up down here, and I also saw it was a 6 that was rolled, and then it rolled on the subsequent table. You can see that this rolls and tells me I'm getting a wilderness professional, and then there's another table. Flip up here. This is your screen to look at the different aspects of Foundry. So whether it's your actors, your items, journal entries, which we'll go over. And so here are the tables. So under profession, if I wanted to look at my wilderness table, here's everything that's on the wilderness table. So you can see I rolled, what did I roll? Guide. That's up here. So I must have rolled a 2 on this table. So then I get one more. So let's roll a second one. Academic. So this is an area of study. So now we'll say academic philosophy. One thing you'll see up here is the way I had to code, or not code, but I had to put in some of the options to increase various aspects of your attributes. It shows up in this other tab as passive talents. It just tells me that, oh yeah, I did select that. See, if you pop it up, it doesn't say a lot, but I increased my intellect by 1, and that was an ancestry decision. All right, let's go back. You'll notice, and this will be important later, there's no magic tab up here. It goes from main to affliction to inventory. So, and I can type in age and build. One thing I didn't put over here, I guess, that I should have, I'll do that next time, is I do have rollable tables. So if you go down to your tables, ancestry, human. So if I want to roll on, say, age, click on that. Roll. See the 3d6 were rolled. And I'm 11. Well, actually, sorry. You're a young adult, age 18 to 35. So I'm just going to say 22. And if I wanted to go back and say, let's do background or build. Build short and thin. Well, for me, they got one of those right. Short and thin. Right? Personality. So you can roll on all these if you want. Let's do one more. Appearance is another one. And these are more flavor, obviously. Let's see what it says there. So these, I haven't figured out how to copy these. I could go to the table knowing that it says you're perfectly average. If I wanted to, I could go to the appearance table and say, it must have been this one. So let's copy it and then just paste it in appearance. So we'll just leave it at that for now. Let's keep moving on. But that's how you do that. Okay, starting equipment. So your starting equipment is based on your wealth. So to determine your wealth, you roll 3d6. So let's open the table. And see, you can see I linked all these to entities, and you could also find them if you really wanted to. You'd find them over here under C items. Actually, I don't know if yeah, here we go, starting equipment. So they're over here on the sidebar too. But let's roll. Let's go back here and let's roll. Getting by. So this tells you over here, you start with equipment based on your wealth. This kind of just explains what it rolled. But here's getting by starting equipment. So the cool thing, let me just show you. So there's no inventory yet. And on other, you can see I have spaces for my wealth. So if I drag this on right out of chat and just drag and drop it, I'll show you. You can see that under copper pennies 2, somehow I just got 2 copper pennies. So if I go to, actually, let's see if I can find it. Yeah, I can't show you, but basically it rolled exactly what was in my the starting pack. So like if I open this, getting by starting equipment, you start with a pouch containing 1d6 copper pennies. So that rolled automatically. I have that set up to roll. But you can see under inventory, it already populated a number of things. This getting by starting equipment, I could probably get rid of that. But it comes with a pouch, rations, tinderbox, 2 torches. So here I would just have to come in, say 2 torches. And now I must have to pick my weapon, which is probably why this exclamation point is there. So let's click on that. So I get a dagger, a staff, a club, or a sling. Let's just go with a club. Okay. See the club populated. Now if I go back to my main tab, I've got my weapon down here already. You can click on that and it'll tell you a little bit about any special properties it has, if it's cumbersome or what have you. All right. So the only other thing I need now is my interesting things. So you start with 1 interesting thing. So let's click on that and let's roll. Go back here and it says a gleaming dragon's scale. A gleaming dragon's scale. All right. So religion, that's something that's only really relevant for priests. I could have a religion, but if I did something here, and if I rolled on the religion table, I would just put it in my notes. Because let me just show it real quickly. Human, religion. So in some cases, it'll say old faith or cult of the new god. Let's just roll and see what we get. So this says old faith. So if we wanted, you can see it, you follow the tenets of the old faith. So we could do 2 things. One, I could just type in, you follow the tenets of the old faith. But because that's a recognized religion, I could, if I put religion in here, which I don't remember if I've done yet, and type it in. Yeah, I don't think I've typed the religions in yet, but I could. I do have oh, here we go. So it was the old faith, so I could just drag this in. Oh, you know what? The reason I didn't do that is it's going to give me a spell choice. And, yeah, because I'm going to be a magician, I should not do that. Let me take that out. All right. Yeah, so really you would just want to put that in the notes. All right, let's move this up to level 1 now. So I'm going to make, most of my adventures will probably be novice to begin with, level 1 or 2. So we'll start with 1. So the way I've built this, just drag this level onto your character sheet. See that change to 1. Some description about the paths. And I'm going to pick a magician. So remember, there's no magic tab up here, but as soon as I drag this on, you'll see my power score change. I feel like I need to change the alignment on some of these, but I'll do that later. Drag it on here. You see magician popped up. So let's see what I'm going to get with that. So increase 2 attributes by 1, health plus 2. You can see that did go up. So I can move my basic health up. Power plus 1. Power is now 1. And now we've got a magic tab. And that already looks like it already populated a spell, which is Sense Magic. I'll have to figure out why this is showing 1, but it should have 2 uses. But I can figure that out later. I just typed over it. All right, so let's see what choices we get. So my attributes, increase 2 by 1. So we'll do intellect and will, why not? So you should see these 2 go up by 1 each. There we go. More choices. So discover 1 tradition. So there's going to be a lot of choices for a magician. You discover 1 tradition. So this is my first choice. If you look at all these and go, gosh, I don't know what those are, you can look up your magical traditions on the right-hand rail, and it'll explain what each one is. So if I want to go to destruction, it tells you a little bit about what destruction magic will do. If I'm interested in fire, it tells you a little bit more about what fire does. So let's just do destruction as my first tradition. And what's next? Discover choice 1. So I'm going to get 3 choices. For each choice, either discover a tradition or learn a spell. So I had to kind of rig these. So that's why you see these things that say choice 1 and 1. You can't have the exact same name for a C item. So we'll discover another tradition. Okay, and then let's see. So my choice 2, I'm going to learn a spell. So that's my first time I've chosen that. And then my final choice, I'll just learn another spell. Okay, so what else is it going to give me? Now I need to go back because one of my choices, I said I want to pick a tradition. I already picked destruction, so you notice it's not on here. It should be right here. So I'm going to pick forbidden. Why not? Okay. So now if you go to your magic tab, you see the traditions that I've picked. I've only got 1 spell. So the way this works, and you'll see also, I should have got something called cantrip, which should be over in my passive talents. So you can see them all over here. So this kind of keeps a running total of what you've selected. Cantrip tells you whenever you discover a tradition, you learn an extra rank 0 spell. So what happens in Shadow of the Demon Lord, whenever you learn a tradition, you automatically get a 0 level spell. So in this case, I will get a 0 level spell for each of these, plus because I'm a magician, I get another rank 0 spell. So let's go through those first, okay? So I have to come over here to my spells. So I have to select destruction. And I'll figure out how to do this better because it doesn't show the levels. You got to click on it and that tells you it's a level 0. But let's just, for now, I'm just going to make it easy. Here's my first level 0. So I get another level 0. We'll do ruin. That's those 2 traditions. And then I get, let's see, we'll do, so I get 1 plus 1 and then forbidden. There's level 0. And you can see it's automatically telling me how many I get. That's coded in based on my power level. And that's something that I did automatically. So those are correct. So I get a maximum of 2 of each of these, and I can double click on this or single click on it to use it. All right. And then, so once I've learned those traditions, since I also selected, I get 2 spells I can learn. And I believe, if I remember right, I can look this up later. But with a power level of 1, I think I get at least a level 0, maybe a level 1. I'll have to look that up later. But just because I want to do it, I'm going to pull over my level 1 spells. Hateful Defecation. Everybody loves Hateful Defecation. So you can see, I wonder what I did. I'll have to look at what popped up. May have been because I was messing around with it. So the target's gust twists and rumble noisily. The target health is less than 10. It dies instantly. It's just what you think. Hateful defecation. Beautiful spell. All right. Destruction. Let's just say dissolve. That's a 1. And again, you can see it populates. Yeah, I don't know why that's. I'm going to have to look. Yeah, I'll have to look at what happened there. Maybe there's something I did wrong. All right. So we got those. Oh, that's why somehow it's not. Yeah, I'll have to make a note. That should be showing a number of uses, so I may not have that correct. But you can see kind of have all your attacks ready to go, and everything is set. Now, let's see. I didn't put this in, but I'll show it. I'm going. Yeah, I'll go a few more minutes. So let's try this. I'm going to find my level, and I'll put this in character creation in the future. But for now, I'm going to up this to level 2. So just drag it on. Now I'm level 2. Yeah, it doesn't like the hateful defecation, so I'll fix that later. Let's go up to Magician again. And I'll just make the choices. I won't drag in all the spells, but health plus 2. Sometimes you'll notice when you just increase the level, you might have to close the character sheet. And then you can always go right back here and pull it up again. And now you see this popped up. But you see I'm supposed to get health plus 2, and now you see it did that. So now I can just type that in. And let's go into my choices. So you make 2 choices. This is choice 1. Either discover traditional or learn a spell. I'll learn necromancy. And then I'll learn a spell. Oh, I think I might have picked 3 instead of 2 last time. That's okay. All right. So if I go over to my magic, you can see my traditions, and I could drag on more spells if I wanted to come over here and find my spells of any of my necromancy. And like I said, I'm going to find a way to handle this better. But as soon as you open it, you can see it's a first level. And I could drag more inventory. There's other things you can get like kits and armor. So if I wanted armor and I knew I had armor, I could come over here. All my weapons are over here. So if you want to look those up, so you can click on those there. Potion. Here's items. So these are all just your standard items that we can drag and drop on the character sheet. Ammunition. If we do have a little way to track ammunition, so I can show that in another video. And then kits. There's some kits that actually do things like the healer's kit, heals damage, comes with a certain number of uses. So if I drug that on, excuse me, healer's kit is an interesting one. So I drag that on, shows up here, and it should have, I believe, 6 uses. So if you come over to the main character sheet, I coded it to where it dropped into more of a consumable, and it does have 6 uses. So I can click on it here to signify a use, but it'll show up on your main character sheet. So that's it. I'll show combat and things later. I guess the only other thing, if you want to change your name, if you want to come in and select portrait again, you could pick one of these portraits, hit select file, and that'll update the mystery man. So I hope my players, those of you that are watching this, I hope this makes sense, and love to have you guys try this out shortly. But I can't wait to run a session with all of you soon. We'll see everyone around, hopefully in the near term, and hopefully I'll be streaming some Shadow of the Demon Lord on Foundry VTT shortly. Thanks, everybody.